Hey guys, what's going on? Today you're gonna learn how to do this really cool advanced badge flip, logo flip effect in DaVinci Resolve. Now I've shown in the past how to do a badge flipping effect, but it was more of like a transition where it came out of the frame and landed on the car. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to literally make a logo or car badge pop off of the car and create a really cool 3D effect. There's a link down in the description where you can download this little clip so you guys can follow along for the tutorial. All right, so let's hop into DaVinci. So once you download the clip, bring it into your timeline. The first thing you want to do is hold down Command and push R to add a speed point. Scroll to the point right about here, and let's add a speed point. Scroll a little bit forward, add another speed point. We're going to drag the top right corner so it's a little bit quicker. We're going to do the top left corner, speed that up. Right click on the clip and select Retime Curve. Click on both of the points that we just created and round them out. I'm going to drag these points all the way up so it creates a nice little curve. Then I'm going to make one little final adjustment and then also add some stabilization. Then go ahead, right click on the clip and select Retime Curve so we can get rid of the curves. Then hold down Alt or Option on your keyboard and let's duplicate the clip. Right click on that clip and select New Compound Clip. Come up to the top of DaVinci and under Clip, select the Freeze Frame option. Move the playhead to the very beginning of that. Then right click on that clip and select New Fusion Clip. Select Fusion. With the media in one selected, hold down Shift and press spacebar and type in Patch. Select the patch replacer. We're going to move the left patch over here and we want to basically kind of blur this logo out and make sure it kind of just disappears. Select Media in 1 and copy the node by pushing Command C. Then push Command V. Select the patch replacer and then add a merge node. Connect the media in 1 to the merge node. Let's right click on the media in 1 up here and rename it real quick to logo. With the logo selected, add a polygon node. Come over here to the right hand side and invert it. Zoom in and let's go ahead and just select the entire Tesla logo. Now you can select invert again. Let's add another polygon node. And with this polygon node, come over here to the right-hand side and select subtract. What we want to do is get rid of the inside of the Tesla logo here. So let's go ahead and select the inside like this. And then I'm also going to select all the points that I made inside the logo and round them out by selecting this smooth icon. With the logo node selected, hold down Shift and press spacebar and type in Transform. With the playhead at the very beginning of the clip, let's go ahead and come over here to the right-hand side under the inspector and keyframe the size, starting at 1. Scroll forward in the timeline here, and then let's go ahead and keyframe the size up. Then scroll forward in your timeline and select another keyframe. And then scroll all the way to the end and make it back at 1. So now we have something that looks like this. Click on Spline at the top right-hand corner. Select the transform, select these little 2 arrows, and select all of the points and then push S. Click on Spline to make the window disappear. Now with the transform node selected, hold down Shift and press spacebar and type in DVE. Now in order to see the keyframes of where your transform is, click on it and you can see these little notches. I want to come right to the first little notch where it fully zooms in, select the DVE node, and over here on the right hand side, you're going to want to keyframe the Y rotation. With it at this point, select the keyframe. Then I'm going to click on the transform to see where my other keyframe is over here. Move the playhead to that keyframe, select the DVE, and you can select as many times as you want it to rotate. So I'm going to add 2 rotations, so 360 degrees. And if you want, you can come up here to the spline, select the DVE node, and add some smoothness to the spin. With the transform node selected, hold down Shift and press spacebar and type in drop shadow. Add the drop shadow node. Move your playhead to the very beginning of the clip. Over here on the right-hand side, turn the drop distance all the way down. Keyframe it. Move it to the point of where it fully comes out of the car and turn up the drop distance quite a bit. Then move the playhead all the way to the point of when the logo starts to go back into the car. Keyframe once again the drop distance. Move the playhead to the end of the clip and then turn the drop distance all the way down. Also, depending on where the lighting source is coming from in your clip, you want to change the drop angle to the appropriate angle of where the lighting would be affecting the logo. So I'm going to move my playhead to the middle, and I want to change the drop angle so the shadow is over on the bottom left corner of the logo. Then with the blur, I'm going to turn it all the way down. Then move the playhead all the way to the very beginning of the clip once again. Come over here to the right-hand side and turn the blur all the way down. Keyframe the blur. Move the playhead to that specific spot again when the logo comes all the way out, and turn the blur node up. Move the playhead back to the next keyframe of when the logo is going back in. Keyframe that once again. Move the playhead to the end. Keyframe once again the blur node, but this time turn it all the way down. So now we have a realistic shadow that pops off the car and goes back in. All right, so now this is where we get to have a lot of fun. Click anywhere outside of our node tree. Hold down Shift and press spacebar and type in duplicate. Select the duplicate node. Then add a glow node. Shift, press spacebar, type in glow, add the glow node. And then what you're going to want to do is pipe the DVE node into the duplicate node. Then go ahead and add a merge node into your node tree. I'm going to drag the merge over this line right here and hold down Shift and add it in between these two nodes. Connect the glow node to the merge node. Now, if your logo looks like this, all you have to do is hold down Command and push T, and it will swap the inputs on this merge node. Now, with the duplicate node selected, let's come over here to the right-hand side and turn down the time offset just a tiny amount. You can also turn up the amount of copies that it creates. So I like to stay with even numbers, so I'm going to select 4 different copies. I'm also going to turn the size down. I don't want the size of the duplicates and the 3D effect to overwhelm the actual logo. Now let's move to the glow node. What you can do is play with the glow by turning it up and also turning up the glow size. Now this is all going to be personal taste and preference, but you guys can play around with this and get the look that you really want for your logo. Also, if you need to, you can adjust the shadow strength for the drop shadow. You can turn it down just a little bit so it doesn't look too overwhelming. There's no specific guidelines here. If you want to change the color scale or keyframe the color scale, you can change the hue of the glow. So just by adjusting the green scale and the blue scale, easily achievable to get any color glow that you want. Select the patch replacer. Hold down Shift and press spacebar and type in lens and select the lens blur. We want to emulate a camera doing autofocus on this. This is what's going to really sell this effect. So go ahead and scroll to the point of when the logo comes all the way out. With the lens blur selected, keyframe the blur size. Then move the playhead to the very beginning, turn it all the way down. Move the playhead to the point of where the logo starts to go back into the car. We're kind of putting a lot of the keyframes on the same exact frame. Select the keyframe of the blur size, and then scroll all the way to the end and turn it all the way down. And then also with the lens blur, you can come up here to the spline, make sure you have only the lens blur selected, so go ahead and scroll down until you see lens blur. Select these little arrows again to bring up the entire chart. Select all of the points and push F on your keyboard. That'll create a natural looking autofocus. Now to give the logo a little bit more life as it pops off the car. With the merge 2 selected, down here, hold down Shift and press spacebar and type in camera shake. Add the camera shake node. Now by default, it is quite aggressive. So if you want to, you can just turn down the PTR speed and get something that looks pretty realistic as far as just kind of giving it a little bit of life. Now, since this is a freeze frame, we want to give this entire clip some movement. So select the merge node down here in our node tree right here. Hold down Shift and press spacebar and add another camera shake. Adjust the PTR speed to your personal taste. I also like to select the border type to replicate, and that's only on this specific camera shake node. If you want the logo to have some motion blur as it's popping out, you can select the DVE node. Come up here to the right-hand side under settings and select motion blur and turn the quality up all the way. You can do the same thing on the transform node as it pops out. With the transform node selected, come up here to the right-hand side, select settings, and select motion blur and turn it up to 10. Your computer may explode. It's okay, it'll look cool when you're finally done. So now let's hop back to the edit tab. With the bottom clip selected, press B. Where these two clips align, we want to basically just move this clip over here. But wait, there's more. Come up here to the left-hand side under the effects, select effects, drag an adjustment clip on top of this entire arrangement. For the first initial speed ramp in, you want to trim the adjustment clip and trim it to the point of where the speed ramp happens. Then under the effects tab, click on the drop-down menu, and I'm going to add my custom motion blur that you can't find in DaVinci Resolve. You can get it linked down in the description. Go ahead and drag that on top of the adjustment clip. I'm going to disable that clip for now, and I'm going to do the same thing for the ending of the speed ramp. If you want to adjust the motion blur to fade in, you want to just click on the top of these adjustment clips and have it fade in nice and slow. There's one more thing that's going to really sell this effect. Go ahead and click on your effects library over here and add one more adjustment clip on top of this clip, finishing off the effect. Trim the clip to the end. With this adjustment clip selected, I'm going to now add my Ultra Impact plugin, which you can also get linked down in the description. I'm going to drag it on top of that adjustment clip, and I'm going to scroll to the beginning of it. I'm going to turn up the shake amount, and I'm also going to change the glow hue to match the color of the glow that's in the effect of the logo popping out. I'm also going to turn up the shake speed a little bit, and I'm going to adjust the clip just about halfway, because the way this Ultra Impact plugin works is if you change the length of the clip, it actually affects the entire plugin. So now with the motion blur applied and my Ultra Impact plugin and all of the things that we just did, this is what it'll look like.